Hey there guys, and welcome to another edition of Event Running. This week we have the Return of Grok event, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's more or less the original Rise of Grok map, I believe it was called, with added Infernal enemies. In fact, I'm pretty sure one of the Shade Necromancers at the final room are accidentally reskinned as a Pyromancer. You'll see what I mean there. In the comments section on my previous video for Trial of the Titans, it was requested that I just quickly mouse over my gear to see like what's going on with that. So I'll go ahead and do that here. I'm using the Magic Arts Great Staff, Tri-Stone of Damage, Radiant of Inspiration, and Sphere of Health. Dark Mage Gloves, 5 pieces of those, just so I can get the crit chance and crit damage bonuses. The Hungering of Bats effect, I mean it's nice, but I prefer not to have to depend on it. I am using the old Voidstone stuff for my charms, jewelry, and that is where I have decided to house my Tri-Stones of Ruthlessness that I received in the event. Only got 7 of them, but that's okay. And then I did end up restocking these 2 old Ravenous items with the free gems from bounties and such. So yeah, that's my setup. I'm not sure why they decided that was, but there you have it. Oh yes, and I do have the damage elixir running, which is the reason for the increased damage number if you hadn't noticed already. So getting into the event, those elixirs are actually left over from the boss fight. I just came off of an event run, actually. It's not necessary to run the elixirs, but I like to, just because if you're going to be grinding the gold to run the event, you're probably going to get the elixirs anyway. So I don't find it to be like that much of a big deal to use them. And it's pretty fun just to watch everything erupt into bits and pieces. So yeah, that's that. Coming up here on the second cavern thing. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much the original event, but they've tossed in a bunch of Infernal enemies. Here we're gonna get our first Berserker and 2 of these lovely winged fellows. I like to take care of the Berserker first because I don't like the move speed and fire trail and all that. But these fireball barrages and fire pillars are nothing to laugh off either. So yeah, just be a little cautious when dealing with those guys, I guess. Yeah. So, and then it only occurred to me as I was doing this event that this is actually the first of the Infernal events. What is it called? Infernal Hollow. That's what it is. Is pretty much was pretty much the Grok map, but cut kind of short. Yeah, I didn't even notice until I whoopsies. Oh god. Until I reached that room with the two their names are escaping me right now, but the 2 guys I just beat. But some of the fire pools. God, really? I'm not sure. Seems like my mouse is acting up a bit right now, sending me into unnecessary danger. Okay. But getting out of that, normally it's not like that. Normally I'm not as out of control as I was just there. So popping as many health potions as I did isn't usually necessary, but for whatever reason, gosh, these guys are refusing to be clicked on. So, yeah. Alright, so that's that. The second Sentry room. And then this fun corridor here. I guess you don't really have to take out all these guys, but it gives me time to talk about some things, whereas just rushing through the event would be like, oh hey, I go in, I'm done, whoops. I like to actually discuss a bit about event strategies where it's pertinent. So yeah, coming up on this bit here with 3 Infernal Pyromancers, always fun enemies to face off against. They're not immune to fear, oddly enough, even though the special enemies from the ice events, the Glacial Menaces and Glacial Beasts, were made immune to fear about midway through the Frozen Stronghold, I believe it was. But these guys aren't, so that's interesting. Good, I guess. And so here we have your 3rd Sentry room, and what I like to do for this room is, just because it's so chock full of these hard-hitting enemies, I like to actually pull them out here and fight them out here where I don't have to worry as much about the Sentries of Grok constantly bombarding me with those darkness blobs, spheres, or whatever you want to call them. Sure, it takes a bit of time to draw them all out and kill them all and then run back, but I find that it's a lot safer. And if you want to try for a no-death run, I would definitely give that consideration. Let's see here. Okay, looks like he's about to go with the darkness blob attack. Juke that. Chain lightning. Hit you. Okay. Protection bubble. And as I mentioned last video, I think, I like to use protection bubble especially against enemies like these Sentries that can just hit you with super short-term high damage burst that would normally be able to take you out within 1 or 2 shots, but because of protection bubble, you don't really have to worry about it as much. And I also forgot to mention the person who asked about my jewel setup also followed up with a question about health versus armor spheres. And one of the reasons that I use health spheres personally. You've seen that, I guess. But one of the reasons I like the health spheres over the armor spheres is because, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop these potions, is because it gives you that protection bubbles mitigation, or shield HP, I guess you could call it, is actually based off your maximum health. So having increased HP helps with that. Yeah, here we go. You can see what I was talking about here at the beginning. This guy right here, oh, he vanished on me. But the Shroud, the guy, he just summoned darkness bubbles right here, this man. He's Arise Minions. That's a Shade Necromancer move, and yet you can see that he's obviously, his skin is obviously that of a Infernal Pyromancer, which is really interesting and odd at the same time. I'm gonna have to cast this again. Woohoo! I think he's actually, yeah, he's Shadow Necromancer. His name is Shadow Necromancer, even though his name's all weird. Okay, but enough of me blathering on. I'm gonna actually focus on aiming at my targets now. Honestly, I've just been spamming Chain Lightning and Incinerate into, like, random enemies while I was trying to describe what I've been seeing, and oh, huh. I think a lot of my stuff was more on target than I thought it was. Yeah, Grok's down already. Q. I'm gonna grab that and that and that and that and go. So yeah, that was the Return of Grok event. It can be difficult if you don't get the Sentries down in time, because honestly, in those rooms with the Sentries, there's enough to sort of worry about without having to watch for the tiny darkness blobs that just randomly fly around the map trying to destroy you. Dragonstones again, not too bad. I'll probably end up needing those because we've got a weapon in the lockbox, even if it is only appearance, and those are famously hard to get. So, or infamously hard to get, I suppose. So, yes, that was the Return of Grok event. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week for the next event.